Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a third year grad student in Marjan Rafat's lab, and in this video, we will introduce you to several of the members of the Rafat lab and also give you a tour of our lab space. So in the Rafat lab, we largely study how the immune system and the wound healing response to treatment, such as radiation therapy, impacts breast cancer recurrence and metastasis. And we also focus a lot on the physical properties of the specific microenvironments and how those properties come into play in recurrence and metastasis as well. As we introduce you to each of the grad students, they'll tell you a little bit about their specific projects and how they tie into these overarching themes. So to kick things off, my project specifically looks at how obesity impacts breast cancer recurrence, as well as what the metabolic responses of the cells in the normal breast tissue environment are to radiation therapy and how that may have a role in allowing breast cancer to recur. Hey, Greg, tell me a little about yourself and your project.
Yeah, so my name is Greg. I'm a second year grad student in the Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering department. So my project consists of really investigating the role of these particles called extracellular vesicles that cells secrete during all types of normal physiology. And we really want to investigate the role of these vesicles um, in the context of cancer recurrence, specifically triple negative breast cancer recurrence and metastasis.
So, since you joined the Rafat Lab last year, what made you decide to choose this lab over others?
So the main reason why I was interested in joining the Rafat Lab was honestly the highly interdisciplinary nature of the research, sort of at the intersection of biomaterials and also more basic sciences spanning things like immunology and cell signaling. And ultimately, we have this very clinical motivation in trying to use our research to develop, to improve therapeutics and to develop the, different strategies for treatment.
What's your favorite emoji?
So my favorite emoji is currently the thinking face emoji. Pretty classic one. You should always, be thinking about ways to, always be thinking about new things. Always be a student. Always be learning.
That's such a politically correct answer, but okay. Hey, Mackenzie. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your role within the Rafat Lab.
So I'm Mackenzie. I'm the Rafat Lab's research assistant. I'm also doing research investigating the role of CD4 T cell recruitment to the irradiated site as kind of like with cancer, as kind of like an analog for normal tissue damage response.
So what are some laboratory techniques that you use a lot in your projects?
So I use flow cytometry a whole lot, which is really fun. IHC for tissues that we have fixed on slides. Obviously like cell culture and different like migration invasion assays and some good old-fashioned microscopy.
Okay, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Noodle soup.
Noodle soup?
Yeah,
like chicken noodle soup?
Like pho or ramen. Like
Oh,
those
okay.
kinds of noodle
Okay,
soup.
those noodle soups are really good. Good answer. Hi, Shannon. So tell me a little bit about yourself and the project that you're working on.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm a first year chemical engineering grad student. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and since I'm new to the lab, my project is a bit vague right now, but I'm interested in looking at the interactions between neutrophils, endothelial cells, and tumor cells in the breast cancer microenvironment and how that relates to metastasis.
Okay, so you have dogs on your mask. So do you consider yourself a dog person over like being a cat person, or are all animals created equal?
Definitely a dog person over cats, but there are a few cats that are close to my heart, but definitely dogs.
Hi, Logan. So tell us a little about yourself and your project.
Yes, so my project focuses on the metastasis from breast cancer cells to the bone, and we're studying how the physical factors of the bone marrow can be able to cause there to be metastatic progression in that environment for breast cancer patients. So ultimately what we want to do is be able to get more information about how do these physical factors of the bone marrow can affect the cancer cells overall.
So tell us a little bit about your program that you're in.
Yeah, so I'm currently in the cancer biology program, so I'm a little bit of an offshoot from the chemical and biomolecular engineering program, but I think that actually goes to show the amount of collaboration that can happen here at Vanderbilt. Currently with my project, we actually collaborate with a lot of different people, particularly with the Vanderbilt Center for Bone Biology here at Vanderbilt. And so I collaborate with a lot of different biologists and other engineers and chemists to be able to create 3D microenvironments to be able to study the bone marrow and metastatic progression in the bone marrow microenvironment.
Okay, I noticed that you've got a little lab assistant here. Who is that?
That is an osteocyte. Something that one of my high school students actually gave me as a present. So.
Hi, Tian. So tell
Hi,
us.
Kevin.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your project.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tian. I'm the third year graduate student of chemical engineering, and my research focused on the influence of the irradiated extracellular matrix on cell behavior. So we use decellularized technique to create ECM hydrogels, and then we culture cells, breast cancer cells in it, and observe their behavior by fluorescence microscope.
So what's the most challenging technique that you use in your research?
I think the most challenging and fun part is atomic force microscope. We use this technique to detect the stiffness of the tissue and hydrogels. The hard part is that the tissue is so soft and sticky, so it's not easy to process that. Yeah, but luckily I can basically do it now.
Great. What's your favorite Nashville restaurant?
Kevin's food?
That's not a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Kevin.
Tell me about yourself and your project.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a fourth year grad student. I joined the lab back in 2017. And my project, since then, I've really been focusing on developing three-dimensional models of damaged normal tissue to study how macrophages play a role in mediating triple-negative breast cancer recurrence. And so to use these models, we utilize primary cells from mice, and we typically irradiate them ex vivo to a clinically relevant dose, and then do a lot of experiments where we culture these cells with macrophages and tumor cells, and do a lot of live cell imaging to see how radiation affects the kinetics of the cell infiltration.
What's your favorite meme?
So I think my favorite meme is the one where the dog is in the burning building and he's saying everything is fine. I can definitely relate to that in a lot of aspects of my life.
Yeah.
The Rafat Lab does have a lot of memes. I think my favorite meme in the Rafat Lab is this one of the confused woman just thinking hard. It goes to show things do get really busy here. We do have a lot of people working on stuff, but ultimately is a really good environment to be working in. So yeah.
The Rafat Lab is located in the Engineering Sciences Building, or ESB, which you can see is right here. And it is adjacent and actually connected to Olin Hall, which is the main chemical engineering building. This is the 4th floor hallway where the Rafat Lab's located, and in this hall we've got labs for the King Lab, Reinhardt King Lab, Giorgio Lab, Brunger Lab, and Duvall Labs. So a lot of great labs that are doing work in biomedical engineering. And the Rafat Lab is down at the very end on the left.
So this lab has 3 main spaces. This is the first main lab space. This is where everybody's bench is. Each grad student has their own bench. All right, this is the cell culture room in here. We have a lot of equipment in here that allows us to utilize various different cell lines as well as primary cells. The Rafat Lab also has a lot of undergraduates as well.
Say hi, undergrads.
Hi.
Each graduate student has at least 1 to 2 undergrads who work on them with their projects, and with the goal of eventually, developing their own side projects to focus on and continue to help, deliver really impactful results. This is the third space in the Rafat Lab, our microscope room. We have a Leica Lasex microscope that has many different imaging capabilities. You can see here that we have fluorescence imaging. We also have phase contrast imaging. The microscope is also fitted with an incubator, so we can actually keep cells, growing cells in here, and image them over a period of time utilizing a technique called live cell imaging.
Thanks for watching our video, and please feel free to reach out to any of the grad students with any questions you have about specific projects or the lab environment. We'd be glad to answer any of your questions, and you can find all of our contact information on the Rafat Lab's webpage at my.vanderbilt.edu/RafatLab.